U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said earlier today the war in Ukraine has already weakened Russia's military capability. This comes as Russia tells the U.S. to stop sending more aid to Ukraine, warning that large Western deliveries of weapons were inflaming the conflict and the threat of a nuclear war was very significant. Joining me now to discuss all this, the real risks behind Russia's words, senior fellow at America First Policy Institute, Steve Yates. My friend Steve, good to see you.
Thank you, Buck. A pleasure to join you.
I haven't had a chance to talk to you in a little while about the situation in Ukraine, Stephen. What do you think? I mean, it feels like there's this narrative that, Russia didn't get what it wanted, and so Ukraine is winning. Meanwhile, there are Ukrainian cities that are still smoldering from being destroyed, and Russia's war continues. So what do you make of where we are right now?
I don't really think there have been any winners so far in this, in the sense that it's been very, very impressive that the Ukrainian people and their leadership have stood up, have weathered the initial phase of this storm, of this amp up of Russia's invasion of their territory, but they have paid a heavy price. So, when you have had millions of your citizens flee the country, you've had probably not accurately counted number of casualties and wounded, and you've had a lot of property damage, other kinds of things happen. Ukraine's definitely suffered. However, I think that prior to this invasion, Russia had a reputation for walking 10 feet tall, whether it was militarily or especially in the information, psychological, political warfare space. We had rumors in the United States that they'd allegedly were so good at this that they could steal a presidential election in 2016. And so I think one of the biggest surprises of this has been the Ukrainian leaders' ability to win some of that information warfare space, to where most of the world pretty much is on Ukraine's side emotionally and wishes them the best against evil Putin and Russia.
And I wonder what you think of some of the recent commentary that's come out that the Biden administration. Let me rephrase this if I can, Stephen. Are we getting slowly but surely more involved in this? I mean, do you have concerns about the U.S. Taking a sort of incrementalist, interventionist approach here? Is that happening, or is that caution, or are those concerns overblown right now?
Oh, I am concerned about that. I mean, in our trade, we basically call that mission creep, and it's something that has been very, very significant in recent American engagements. It was really only in the Trump administration where we had kind of a hit and pull back approach to some of our national security challenges, but especially when one looks at how things played out in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria in the previous administrations, getting in for a somewhat defined mission led to erosion and kind of creeping into long-term entanglements that were not in America's favor over time. And so I think there's a risk of that. There's no black and white proof that we have troops, special forces, or what have you in Ukraine right now. But I think it would be silly to imagine that's not talked about. I mean, after all, we had the president accidentally talk to people about, when you get there, this is what you will see. So that's been at least a nod of the head that could be coming if it wasn't an accidental disclosure of kind of classified information.
Don't miss American Scandal, Hunter Biden. A new First TV exclusive special hosted by Buck Sexton. Available right now only on the First TV app.